Welcome to the channel. This is Coach Charles on the soccer benchmark. 5-1. 5-1. That is what Arsenal has done to Manchester City. Arsenal has made City eat humble pie. Yeah? That if eating humble pie had a name, it is all written on Manchester City because Arsenal has made them eat a bloody humble pie. 5-star performance. That is what Arsenal has dished on Manchester City. You know, this game was built as a high pressure game, you know, a game where we were expecting it to be cagey, we were expecting it to the both teams just to defend and, you know, hit on the counter or probably just play a cagey football, a cagey boring football, but no way. That is not what happened because Arsenal just scored in the second minute. I think it was 1 minute and some 30-40 seconds in the game. You know, that is how you beat your opponent. That is how you put you put pressure on your opponent. Most of an opponent that has been beating you year in year out, because Arsenal has never had a good result against Manchester City for a long time. You know, City has been dominating Arsenal every other minute. Just bring them. You know, that is the feeling that Manchester City has always had. Remember the last game when Haaland was really disrespectful of Gabriel and Arteta. You know, talking to people, telling them to stay humble. Today he was the one who was humbled. Yeah, but a big player like Haaland always have to come into the fore. You know, he had his chance and he scored the very first few minutes in the second half. That Savinho pass was beautiful, and the problem that Arsenal did was to allow Savinho to turn into the box and put that cross, because the minute he hung that ball up there was no way the Arsenal defenders were going to get to that ball. And Haaland just did what Haaland does. And the celebration, you'll see the smirk on his face, you know. Only did he know that whatever is coming after that is going to be vintage Arsenal. And Partey just rewound the time, you know. He pushed back time and brought a beautiful goal. In fact, that Partey goal is the one that is responsible for this Arsenal win, because he made Arsenal recover immediately. It was an immediate response to the Haaland goal. It was not even more than 2 minutes. You know, the difference between these two goals, I think, was 38 seconds or thereabout. That is how you respond to adversity, you know. And Partey after Partey showed up, and it was a beautiful goal. It was shot hard. It was a slight deflection, and who cares? You know, Arsenal fans are on cloud 9. These guys are enjoying their moment. But kudos to Arsenal, because the performance that they put up today was just the one. This was beautiful performance, because after the goal that City scored in the second half, I think Arsenal dominated them the remaining 40 minutes of the game. You know, Arsenal just made sure that these guys had no space. They were pressing in numbers, they were overloading in some areas, and the players were running. You know, these guys were ready for this game. And then the Lewis-Skelly, you know, that celebration just killed Haaland. I have a feeling that Haaland somewhere is just, you know, he's sad, because what I like about this game is that there's a new rivalry in England, a new rivalry in the Premier League, Arsenal versus Manchester City. You know, the young kids who are celebrating like Haaland, you know, they are just making the rivalry even become bigger and bigger. So we are looking into a very, very bright future of football. Arsenal against Manchester City is going to be vintage year in, year out, because the young kids have come into the fore. The young kids are showing that they are able to do this. So the fourth goal was Havertz's goal. You know, that was salvation. Remember, he missed a sitter. He missed a sitter, because that pass that is received, and all he needed to do is pick a space, pick a spot, you know. The defender was sliding away. The goalkeeper was leaning on one side. All he needed was to put that ball in a simple space. Just pick a space. And Havertz did not do that. But he recovered. He managed to get his goal. And it was a beautiful goal. His run, you know, was beautiful. And the pass that was pushed to him was just a beautiful pass. With his left foot, he opened his body, and the goal was in. Now, the very last goal that Arsenal scored against Manchester City, the young Nwaneri, you know, that is exactly the way Havertz scored his goal. You know, the same position, almost the same way with the left foot, and Ortega had nothing to do. You know, he had nothing. He had no say on that because he could not stretch to reach that ball. So what are we saying? After watching Manchester United lose to Crystal Palace, a very boring game that players that Ruben Amorim displayed today and his boys, this was such a relief. You know, at least football was played the way it's supposed to be played. And most when you're playing your opponent, your rival, your direct rival. It is sad that Liverpool are running away with this league because Arsenal really deserve something out of the Premier League. They have been consistent for the last 3 years where they have come position 2, you know. But right now, Liverpool is running away with this thing, and they are getting really very, very weak penalties. The referees are being too lenient on Liverpool. I don't know whether it is a script. I don't care. But this is not my fight. This is Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City. So basically, after this game, City and Pep Guardiola are bloodied noses. They have bloodied noses. You know, they've been hit left and right and center. They have been buried in a heap of goals, you know, goals in, goals out. Pep Guardiola, in his entire managerial career, has never lost 5-1 thrashing. He's never been hit 5 goals, you know. That shows you how City have fallen, or just how Arsenal is good. We cannot say that City has fallen. We only need to say that Arsenal was on song. Arsenal came to the match. They were prepared for war, and they delivered. They dished it and dished it and dished it 5 times. City tried to respond, but no way. Arsenal needed this win more than Manchester City, and it showed on the day. You know, the City defense was struggling to get out of defense because Arsenal were all over them. They were pressing them. They were kicking them. You know, they were pushing them. Arsenal were all over Manchester City. I have never seen a City pegged back for so long by any team, but give due where it belongs, because Mikel Arteta Arsenal showed up and they were able to be counted. 5-1, that is the result that we saw. And the game was so open, it was so wide open, and you see the counters, the balls through the channels, and Ødegaard knows how to pick some very, very tight pockets. And Partey, one pass master, he was able to unlock this City defense every other moment he got onto the ball. So you can see, the Premier League is where if you don't take your chances, you lose. And it is a zero margin game. Do not make any mistake. Square passes are discouraged, and that is how Arsenal got their first goal, you know, the square pass. And the second one that Havertz missed, the same problem, putting the ball where a player does not have any space to be able to pass it. So, going forward, young kids who are watching, do not do the square pass because it's dangerous. Now, thank you for watching. This is Coach Charles on the Soccer Benchmark. I will rate these players later, and I will give some 5 things that I saw in this game against Manchester City, Arsenal, and let's keep playing football a better way.